Azure Container Registry, ACR, is a managed private Docker registry service that stores and manages container images for Azure deployments. It allows developers to build, store, and manage container images in a secure and scalable environment. ACR integrates seamlessly with Azure Kubernetes Service, AKS, Azure App Service, and other Azure services, making it a crucial component for deploying containerized applications in Azure. Using Azure Container Registry offers several benefits, including enhanced security, scalability, and integration with Azure services. ACR provides role-based access control, RBAC, Azure Active Directory, AAD integration, and geo-replication for high availability. It also supports automated image builds and updates through Azure DevOps or GitHub Actions, ensuring that your container images are always up to date and secure. To set up an Azure Container Registry, you need an Azure subscription. You can create a new registry using the Azure Portal, Azure CLI, or Azure PowerShell. When creating the registry, you can choose the SKU, Basic, Standard, or Premium, based on your needs. The registry will be created in a specified Azure region, and you can enable features like geo-replication and content trust for added security and reliability. Before publishing an image to ACR, you need to create a Docker image. This involves writing a Docker file that defines the application's environment and dependencies. Once the Docker file is ready, you can build the image using the Docker CLI with the command docker build image name. This command will create a Docker image that can be run locally or pushed to a container registry like ACR. Tagging a Docker image is essential for versioning and organization. To tag an image for ACR, use the Docker CLI with the command docker tag image name ACR login server tag. The ACR-login server is the login server name of your Azure Container Registry. Repository is the name of the repository within ACR, and tag is the version or identifier for the image. Proper tagging helps in managing multiple versions of an image. Before pushing an image to ACR, you need to log in to the registry. Use the Docker CLI to log in with the command AZ-ACR login -name ACR-name. This command uses Azure CLI to authenticate your Docker client with ACR. Ensure that you have the necessary permissions to access the registry. Successful login allows you to push and pull images from ACR securely. Once logged in, you can push your Docker image to Azure Container Registry using the Docker CLI. The command docker push ACR login server/repository uploads the tagged image to the specified repository in ACR. This process may take some time depending on the size of the image and network speed. After the push is complete, the image will be available in ACR for deployment. Images stored in ACR can be deployed to various Azure services like Azure Kubernetes Service, AKS, Azure App Service, and Azure Container Instances, ACI. For AKS, you can reference the image in your Kubernetes deployment YAML file. For Azure App Service, you can configure the service to pull the image from ACR. Azure Container Instances allow you to run containers directly from ACR without managing the underlying infrastructure. Automation is key to efficient DevOps practices. Azure DevOps and GitHub Actions can be used to automate the building and pushing of Docker images to ACR. By setting up CI/CD pipelines, you can ensure that every code change triggers a new image build and deployment. This automation reduces manual intervention, minimizes errors, and accelerates the deployment process, ensuring that your applications are always up to date. Security is paramount when dealing with container images. Use Azure Active Directory, AAD, for authentication and role-based access control, RBAC, to manage permissions. Enable content trust to ensure the integrity of images. Regularly scan images for vulnerabilities using tools like Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Implement network security measures like virtual network integration and private endpoints to restrict access to your ACR. Monitoring and logging are crucial for maintaining the health and performance of your containerized applications. Azure Monitor and Azure Log Analytics can be used to track the performance and usage of images stored in ACR. Set up alerts for critical events and use dashboards to visualize metrics. Logging helps in diagnosing issues and understanding the behavior of your applications, ensuring smooth operations. Managing costs is essential for any cloud deployment. Azure Container Registry offers different SKUs, Basic, Standard, Premium, with varying features and pricing. Monitor your usage and storage costs using Azure Cost Management and Billing. Implement policies to clean up unused images and repositories to optimize storage costs. Regularly review your ACR usage and adjust your SKU or configurations to balance cost and performance. Consider a company that migrated its monolithic application to a microservices architecture using Docker containers. By leveraging Azure Container Registry, they were able to manage and deploy their container images efficiently. They set up automated CI/CD pipelines using Azure DevOps, ensuring that every code change resulted in a new image build and deployment. This approach reduced deployment times, improved scalability, and enhanced security, demonstrating the practical benefits of using ACR. Publishing an image to Azure Container Registry is a critical step in deploying containerized applications on Azure. By understanding the setup, security, automation, and cost management aspects, you can effectively use ACR to streamline your DevOps processes. The next steps involve hands-on practice with ACR, setting up CI/CD pipelines, and integrating ACR with other Azure services to fully leverage its capabilities. Continuous learning and adaptation will ensure that you stay ahead in the evolving cloud landscape.